Uh-oh. Here we go. Here we go. It's those dudes from XO Sports. Are y'all ready? Y'all ready to hang out with us? You want to come back for more? Well, welcome to XO Sports episode number 37. We're coming at you live right here on a Thursday night. What's up, my fellas? We're here. The crew is here, but we're missing two of us. Two of the crew that's a part of this band. I don't know where they are. I think I have a funny suspicion, though. You know, there's all kind of contract negotiations going on, people interviewing for head coaching jobs. They might be interviewing for another podcast job. I don't know, but we're here. It's the 3 Degrees tonight, or the Three Amigos. You know, there was groups that they called Bell Bib DeVoe, so we could just rock. Hey, let's do it. 3 Blind Mice, whatever. We're gonna rock with it tonight. What's up, my dudes? XO Sports coming at you live right here now. Brian, tell us about those subscribes, brother.
Yeah, what's going on, everybody? We here at XO Sports, we would like to thank all our viewers and listeners for their support. We're currently streaming on all media and podcast platforms. You can catch us on Apple, Spotify, iHeart. If you're watching us on YouTube, be sure to click that subscribe button and hit that notification bell. Greatly appreciate it, and you'll get alerts for when we are currently streaming live. And feel free to join in on the comment section and join in on the debate. Also, you can call in the number 475-221-5006, which is posted up on the screen. And feel free, join in. It's a family affair.
Come on, everybody. Come on. And man, I'm missing Malcolm and Aaron, though, man. I'm missing them, man. I wonder where they at, man.
Man. I know. I heard Aaron might be going to see the Tooth Fairy or something.
Yeah, that's what it is, huh?
Allegedly, that's a rumor.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I heard Malcolm was getting on a jet to go somewhere, man. I'm like, man, they just left us, man. But you know what? Hey, Jim Harbaugh was supposed to be at that signing, that National Day signing. He was in Minnesota for head coaching jobs. Oops, I don't know. I just said that. But, that's what I heard. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
That's what you heard.
You know.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
As Malcolm says, next man up. So we're gonna kick off the show.
Definitely.
So, man, you always got your ear to the ice, man. Tell us what's going on in the world of the NHL, man.
Terry, are you serious, man? Listen, man, this is a hot weekend. It is NHL All-Star weekend, and it's going down in Vegas, in hot Vegas. You know, they say everything that happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. So it's going down NHL weekend. It's going to be held at the T-Mobile Center there in Vegas, at the T-Mobile Arena, right there in Vegas. They got the Skills Challenge, which is going to happen on Friday night, and they've added some new Skills Challenge there. Of course, you know, they got the fastest skater, the hardest shot, accuracy shot, and they're doing something this year with the blackjack shot. So it's going to be an all-time affair in the world of hockey right there in Vegas this weekend, NHL All-Star weekend, and it's going down in the lovely city of Las Vegas. Big up to all of my NHL fans out there. We thank y'all, huh?
Will it be so hot that the ice melts?
Well, I hope it doesn't melt the ice, man, huh? You know?
Yeah.
We don't want the ice melt, man.
Yeah.
You know, they might turn up the heat in Vegas, man. It could get 100 degrees out there sometime.
Yeah.
But hopefully not in February. So NHL weekend is going down in Vegas, y'all.
Only one way to find out is to tune in. Tune into the game. Man.
Definitely. Yeah.
Oh, man. Yes, sir.
On a positive note, in the NFL, Washington football team has a new uniform and a new name.
Woo.
They are now being called the Washington Commanders.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Is that the commander in chief I mean, is it because they're in this, in Washington D.C. But they're in the NFC East. They're in my division, so my
Yeah.
Cowboys, we have to play them twice a year. So, is it the Commanders, the Washington football team, the Redskins? It doesn't matter. We just gonna beat them. We just gonna go down there, whatever
Oh,
they change their name to.
and the funny thing
Cowboys
is,
gonna come in there and we gonna wreck house.
I didn't really I thought the Washington football team was bland, and then it grew on me. I was getting used to that.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
that's
I
the
was
thing,
getting used
man.
to it too.
Yeah,
But hey,
Yeah.
they just keep changing it around, man. Somebody keeps changing the recipe. Uh,
you change your name, you might get different results.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We'll see. That remains to be seen.
That's only going to be one more win, if they change the name. Only one. That's all.
Shall see. We shall see. But staying in the world of football, we had some football games take place this weekend. Some championship games.
Mhm.
One of them being the AFC Championship game that went into overtime. Cincinnati Bengals versus Kansas City Chiefs, which the Bengals won 27-24.
Yeah.
Brian, what are your thoughts on that game, man?
That was a great win for the Bengals. A great step forward in maturation process. Earl was cool and calm back there. They was pressuring him. That offensive line, we talked about it, was shaky. And he was just stepping up, making moves with his feet, using that to kill them. Or I should say, to attack them.
Yeah.
But he's young. That team is young and resilient, and they played great. And as for Kansas City, this is a bitter learning experience for them. It was a bad loss, but it was, I think, a good learning and humbling experience for them. Seeing Mahomes in the game when they were up, dancing, shimmying. But this was not a regular season game. This was a playoff game. You don't want to give that other team any fuel, any ammunition to spark that fire, and that's what happened. You seen they just came in at the second half, and they started coming at Holmes and them, and they just never can get back into the groove of things. So I think this was a humbling experience for them and a learning experience for them. And another thing that we have to jump on is you're up, you take the 3 points. He had no reason to not take the 3 points. So Andy Reid, I don't know if he just got on the bandwagon with the young guys and just forgot everything, but that's something that has to be addressed.
Yep, always take the points, especially in the playoffs.
Yep.
What do you think, Em? What'd you think about the game, man?
Man.
I know we were texting back and forth.
Listen,
You said it wasn't over.
Cool. I kept saying that.
Yeah.
I was talking to Aaron through via text, and he said something about this game is over. And I said, wait a minute, they're hanging around. I think I texted him back, they're hanging around.
Yeah.
And then the score was tied. And I texted him again. I said, oh, do you think it's over now? Listen, his name is Joe Cool. Joe Cool Burrow. And listen, he showed it. And like Brian was saying, they came out there. He has like a makeshift offensive line. But he just kept coming at them, and he just kept coming at them. And like you said, Brian, Mahomes, he was there shimmying. I think he had his swag back. But as he started looking at the scoreboard, that shimmying started shaking, and he had a concerned look on his face. And always take the points. Andy Reid, what are you doing right there? I don't care if your star quarterback comes over to you and said, no, coach, let's go. We got 5 seconds with no timeouts. No, you say no. You're the head coach. Andy Reid, I'm holding you responsible for those 3 points because I know Mahomes was in your ear saying, coach, we got him. Let's go for the knockout blow right here. You take the points right there. Yep. And I think if they would have taken those points, which we saw those were big points right there. And Kansas City, I think this is a humbling experience for them right now. I think they're going to look at themselves in the mirror and say, hey, we could have been playing in the Super Bowl again. They were at home. with the crowd noise and all of that, and it didn't affect Joe Burrow. And as we were moving into the, deeper into the playoffs, I was wondering if the lights were going to be too big for Burrow. But he has proven to us time and time again, listen, just put me in a spot to win the game. Give me a chance. And I like all the things that he brings to the game, his toughness, his the way he can analyze things, and he doesn't get too intimidated by the crowd noise or playing on the road. And he just went out there and did his thing. Big up to the Cincinnati Bengals. And I was just happy to see my boy Inky Woods there on the sideline to come over there and give him a little pep talk. The Inky Shuffle. The Inky Shuffle. Remember the Inky Shuffle?
Yeah.
Big up to Cincinnati, man.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I could say right now is we called it, M. We said they could make it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We said that a couple weeks ago.
We did
said
we
it
did
last
that,
week.
Terry. Yes.
They had a shot. And
yeah.
I thought the game was over. They were down 21-3, but then they made a push late in that second quarter, got a touchdown to make it 21-10. And then I was like, wow, this could get interesting. And in that second half, I got to give Cincinnati's defense credit, man.
Oh, my God, yes.
They held Mahomes. I mean, he threw for 3 TDs in the first half.
Yeah.
He didn't throw a single TD in that second half.
Shut him down, Terry.
Shut him down.
Yeah.
Burrow was running for his life at times, but he didn't quit. He could have just quit and gave up because he did take some hits, and he was actually running for his life out there. I felt scared for him.
Yeah.
But I gotta give the Bengals some credit, man. And Emerson gave Evan McPherson his flowers last week. I'm gonna give him again.
Yeah.
Came through with the big kick, man. 33 yards out to win the game in overtime.
Listen, that was huge, huh?
Yeah.
The kick in that stadium, Arrowhead, the kick in Arrowhead Stadium with that crowd noise as a rookie kicker. I just think of all the veterans that have missed kicks there.
Oh, yeah.
And for him to go with ice water in his veins and said, I'm going to knock this through. We're going to the Super Bowl. He didn't flench.
And one of our viewers said on here, Josh Smith, I'm going to give him a shout out.
What up, Josh? What's up, Josh?
He said he was listening to a Chiefs podcast earlier, and then the Chiefs might have like 74 million available caps in the offseason.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody had them penciled in at the half.
Yeah.
He was like, first quarter, this is over. Like he said.
Yeah. Like when I was Aaron texted me and said, "Oh, this is all over," Yeah. And I text him back, man, when they tied that game up.
Ain't see no more shimmying out there then.
Right. No more shimmy.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The one thing though I will say is I don't know if I can put this. I mean, you got to take the points. You have to take the points when you can.
Yep.
But I'm not sure if I could put this loss entirely on Mahomes and the Chiefs offense because Malcolm has said it before, and he said it early on in the season when the Chiefs were losing. He pointed out that defense was not that good, and I would say in the second half of this game,
Malcolm
they
did
gave
say that.
up
I remember
17 unanswered points. So
yes,
that defense showed its ugly head again. It was just at the wrong time for the Chiefs. But congratulations to the Bengals.
Yep.
And F Tom Brady, if you're listening in, the Bengals made it to the Super Bowl with that middle school offensive line.
Yeah.
Go figure, man. Go figure.
Oh, man.
Go figure.
Oh, man.
So we had another game take place in the NFC. That I did not get a chance to watch because my power went out. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I saw
sure
it did,
huh?
I saw it. But yeah, the Rams defeated the 49ers to get to the Super Bowl in LA. And what are your thoughts on that game, man?
Well, first of all, I wanna take my hat off to the 49ers. Um, I've been impressed with the 49ers all season. Just some of the games they've been able to, when people counted them out, let's just go there. When people counted them out, they just fought back. Jimmy G, he has his moments, his shaky moments where we're like, oh, that throw, oh my God, oh, that's a pick six, and you know,
Mhm.
he just seems to find a way to make the right play at the right time. Not saying that he's this wonderful quarterback. He's one of those quarterbacks that just finds a way to make the right play at the right time. And big ups to Kyle Shannon. I mean, listen, he's a genius. He's a genius. He will take what he has with an offense and he will use it. But they ran into a much stronger team. I think that made the plays that they needed to make to help them advance to the Super Bowl. And we're talking about the Rams here. And Matt Stafford looked like everything they gave up for him at the beginning of the season. There was question marks if he could come in and orchestrate this offense and be able to take this team to the next level. I know they thought he was the missing piece. They gave up. They went all in this year. They made trades to pick up Von Miller and sign Odell Beckham, and they made some offseason moves early on to bring in some other players. But this was an all-in year for them, and I think they went out there and take your hat off to them too. They're playing a
Yeah.
Super Bowl in their home stadium. that's that's just that's just going to be marvelous for them. I think their fan base will be there cheering them on, and I think it's going to be one hell of a game. And I can't wait for us to talk about that next week. About some of our thoughts on who I think is going to win that game, but they did what they had to do. Um, big ups to the Rams for that big win.
Ryan, what'd you think about the game, man?
I thought
Send some Texas back and forth.
The M, the Y, the J, the I, the M. It's Jimmy. It's Jimmy.
Come on, people. Come on, give me a right.
The M,
Who
the
can walk? Who know how to walk?
the J, the I, the M. It's Jimmy. It's Jimmy.
Oh,
yo,
Oh my
man.
goodness.
yeah.
That's how we do it on XO, bro.
Yo,
Oh,
it just came back and bit you guys, man. Your defense
Ah,
played well. Jimmy, he had one INT, but he could have had at least three. He made a couple of
least
bad
three.
plays,
at least three.
but the play at
least
the
three.
end just solidified Jimmy. He just Jimmy. Yeah, I don't know, but you guys. Yeah, you were right there, and Stafford was a little shaky as well. I thought so. I was waiting to see which quarterback was going to do the biggest blunder. I thought Rams. I thought they could have ran the ball more. They was getting almost 4 yards a pop, but the head coach who calls the plays figured he wanted to throw the ball a lot, and they pulled it out. And as E said, they was all in. They put their chips on the table. They made the moves that they were going for it. It did pay out. It looked like because they're there. Von Miller's, Odell had 9 receptions, 113 yards. He was looking good out there. Some people in Cleveland thought he was done. Don't look like it. Maybe
No.
it's the person who was home in the stadium, Baker, watching the game from there. So maybe he's the one that's done. So
Oh man.
chips are on the
Oh.
table. So the Rams, see if they can pull it out and cash in.
Mm.
Yeah, they're at home, nigga. The odds are good for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Man, I wish I could be there.
And now,
Oh.
I just want to know. I want to know this. When are we going to put the right coverage on Cooper Kupp? This guy just gets open.
Yeah.
He gets open. He gets open.
I think it's time to start giving him some credit
As one of the premier receivers in the game.
Yeah.
Can we
And
do
let's,
that?
maybe not put it so much on the defenses that he's going up against and just say this guy can run some good routes.
Yeah.
He's got some solid
exceptional route
hands.
runner. Yes.
And if you need a first down, he's your guy. I mean,
Absolutely.
for me, just looking at some of the stats from the game, Rams were, and it was key on third down conversions. They were 11 of 18 the game. Brian has sent out a text. Even though they didn't have a big game running the ball, they were able to run the ball with some success, which I didn't really expect them to be able to do. I figured the 49er defense would shut the run game down, and that would just allow us to just basically rush the passer and go after Stafford. And another thing I noticed, which we normally don't do, and it wasn't a lot, but we blitzed, and it was only 5 times, but that kind of exposed our corners and one-on-one coverage on Odell, on Cooper Kupp. And Cooper Kupp had a big day. I feel like Odell had a big day. 9 catches for 113 yards. That's big. But Cooper Kupp had 11 catches.
11 catches.
11.
For 142 yards and 2 TDs.
This guy.
Yeah, and that's our weakness, right? I feel like we were able to rush Stafford. We sacked him a couple times, but again, third down conversions were key. And I'll also give credit to their tight end, Kendall Blayton. He came in and he filled in for their starting tight end.
Yeah, their starting tight end went
Tyler
down.
Higbee, who got hurt.
Yep.
And he had some key catches on third down for them.
Sure.
And then, I think once Higbee went out, I felt like our defense really had a shot to kind of ice the game for us, but he stepped up, got some big catches for him. And then if you just look at the other side of the ball, as far as like the 49ers stats, and we only have 50 rushing yards for the entire game. That's not what you were expecting. What I was expecting, I don't think anybody going into this game.
The way you've been running the ball, because you were running the ball so effectively throughout the postseason.
Yeah.
So that kind of
put it on Jimmy's shoulder
for your offense. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's one thing I will say. I got to give credit to the Rams defense. Von Miller and those guys. They put the ball in Jimmy's hands and said, "Hey, beat us." Yeah. And he did a good job up until the last 2 possessions of the game, right?
Yeah.
He only completed 1 out of 6 passes.
Yeah.
For -2 passing yards and an interception.
Horrible interception.
Yeah.
You know what that's called, Terry, though? That says he choked.
Oh yeah, he choked. No doubt about it, and that's what everybody was kind of expecting from him. But I will say, in all the games leading up to that game, our defense made a big play.
Oh yeah.
To kind of ice the game for us, to allow us to move on to the next round. And Jakrowski Tart, he dropped the key interception.
Dropped it.
It was a big momentum shift after
it was
that.
Oh man. Oh my.
You know what I mean?
He's right in
he catches that ball. And
oh man.
We're talking about Matt Stafford.
Yep.
Like we're talking about Jimmy G right now. Yep. If he catches that interception.
It's a different conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
it's a different conversation
like,
right now.
Stafford was trying to give the game away. I'm like,
yeah. And I'm not sure if I trust Stafford all the way here, and we'll talk about that next week. But but Ted, that was a big moment, But Jimmy G, I think that G stands for Jimmy Gone.
I've heard so many. I've heard Jimmy Gag. So many Jimmy
Jimmy Gone though.
Yeah. I give all the credit to the Rams, and I will say, I'll say the 49ers shouldn't hang their heads because they started off, I think, the season 3-5. Everybody had written them off. They got healthy and they were able to rally, around themselves and win games and get this far. So, we'll see what happens into next year. But again, congratulations to the LA Lambs. I mean, Rams.
Yeah.
Oh man.
The Rams, they might be saying, Jimmy, shots fired.
Moving right
Jimmy
along.
gone.
Jimmy gone. Jimmy Gags.
Jimmy, get the hell
Nine
out of here.
Lives.
Yeah, he'll be
Yeah,
doing,
exactly.
he'll be doing commercials like Jimmy Walker, Dynamite, huh? Doing car insurance commercials or life insurance commercials.
You did good, man. You did good.
Yeah, they did good. Did good. But moving right along, we had a announcement this week. One of the NFL GOATs, Tom Brady, 7-time Super Bowl champion, has retired from the NFL. What are your thoughts on that, Em?
Well, without question, that GOAT legacy fits him well. 7-time Super Bowl champion. Nobody has been able to do it like Tom Brady has done it. Went from the New England Patriots to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, bringing a championship to 2 different franchises. I think everything we know about Tom and everything about his playing on the football field, it's just greatness. I think every young quarterback should grab some tapes from him and watch them all the time, because here was a young man. He came out of Michigan, 6th-round pick, I believe. Okay. They didn't like his 40 time when he was at the combine. They didn't like his body structure when he was at the combine. They said he was too skinny, all of those things. But the determination and the heart that he had to never quit, never give up, that I'm going to prove you all wrong, that's what made him great. And the greatness will follow him for years and years to come, because I think he held that chip on his shoulder for all these many years. Brady really had nothing to prove to us. He was going to be a first-time Hall of Famer, of course. We know that. But to play to the age of 44, I know he said something about he wanted to play till he was 45. But after sitting down with his family, he came to the decision and the conclusion that time right now is to hang up the cleats. And but who knows? Maybe he might do a Michael Jordan and take a year off and come back. I did see Jordan do that. Another GOAT. So big ups to Tom Brady and all that he has done for the game of football, everything that he has done for both of those franchises, Tampa Bay franchises, just resurrected their fan base and everything else. So Tom Brady, you are the GOAT. I hope you enjoy your retirement. And I think we need to tip our hat to him, because it's only fair. He is the GOAT.
Yeah.
Tom Brady.
Brian?
Yeah, GOAT status, GOAT accolades. Yeah. I just looked up one thing against the Steelers, 10-2, passing rating of 115.
Wow.
This is the highest mark any starting quarterback against one team since 1991. And he just used to just dice our team up literally every time we played. And being a Steeler fan, it would hurt. It made you want to dislike what he did on the field, but you had to respect what he did on the field. He was a classic quarterback, drop back, mobile just enough to step up in the pocket and deliver the ball. He's not going to run 40, 50 yards. There's none of that.
Exactly.
Dropping back. You knew what he was going to do. Can you stop it? Most teams couldn't stop it. That's why he got, how many rings he got? 7, right? Yeah. Really could have been 8. When you think about it. But yeah. Mm-hmm. So kudos to him, man. All that he's given to the game and the excitement that I got to see. And I went to the Patriots game twice to watch him beat my Steelers. And then I had to go out in the parking lot and eat a hot dog. Like,
yeah, man. Did you get a little mustard on that hot dog? A little mustard and ketchup? Did you get chili on that, man? Did you get a chili dog? with the onions on it,
Just
huh?
made me eat it, y'all. You eat this hot dog, y'all. So,
Well, shit,
but
that's your money's
kudos to
worth.
I
him,
just want
man.
to add something. I just want to add something right here.
Add.
What if Drew Bledsoe never got hurt? Would we really know about Tom Brady? Will he have remained with that franchise?
Yeah.
I mean, if Drew Bledsoe doesn't get hit on the sideline, I want, was that the Steelers? Who was that? One of the linebackers from the Steelers?
That was the Steeler game.
Yeah. That was a Steeler game.
Yeah.
Yeah. If Drew Bledsoe never gets hurt, we may never know about Tom Brady. We may not be having this conversation. He could have bounced around, been a journeyman, been a backup. Who knows? He could have been a starter somewhere, but he was in the place in the right system with the right offensive coordinator and gave him success all these years.
Okay. My team is the one who started it all.
Started it all.
Started it all. Yep. Look how he repaid you.
Yeah. 10 and 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I mean that's impressive. I didn't realize that he had done so well against the Steelers, and just think about all those great and tough defenses that the Steelers had.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Blitzburg.
Chew us up.
Yeah. Let's face it, he not only did that to his Steelers defense, he did that to a lot of tough
To everybody.
Yeah.
around the league. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's I'm happy for him because it seems to me that one thing I'm happy about is that he went out on his own terms.
Yeah.
He didn't get a major injury.
Yep.
So he's walking out on his own terms. How fitting is it that his last game brought them back from I forget how many points down.
Mm-hmm. He almost won it.
Yeah.
Almost pulled it out.
Yeah, and he tied the game, and he threw a touchdown pass, a bomb, and a dime to Mike Evans against what a lot of people consider the best cornerback in the game right now, Jalen Ramsey.
Yeah.
So, things that come to mind, besides go always prepared. Never count him out. How many times you hear that? Never count Tom Brady out. Excellence. And, I don't think we'll see another quarterback, the things that he did in this league, or maybe we will, Patrick Mahomes, but I just don't see another quarterback coming along and getting 7 Super Bowls.
That's tough.
I could be wrong, but I don't believe I'll see it in my lifetime.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna see it.
And
cool.
let me throw this out there too, Terry. This week, Josh McDaniels or Josh got hired with the Raiders, and the first thing he said in his opening press conference, "Oh yeah, and that tuck rule, that was a fumble." for those who don't know, we're going back many years ago. Was it Woodson, defensive back that sacked him, stripped the ball out of his hand, and it should have been a fumble. They counted it as an incomplete pass, and that was a big turning point in that game. And the rest is history. The Patriots go on to win that game, and the Raiders fans, they probably would have had another chance at a Super Bowl ring, but it didn't happen. The tuck rule.
Yeah.
But it's just funny. Josh, he gets hired by the Raiders, and he mentions that.
Says that.
So I had to throw that in there, huh?
Nice.
Oh man.
Well, in some not so flattering news this week, former Miami Dolphins coach Brian Flores is suing the NFL and the New York Giants. I'm just gonna read a little excerpt that was taken from a post on the internet. Basically, 3 days before Flores' interview for the job, which went to Brian Doble, Belichick the Giants' job, is alleged to have text Flores saying congratulations, and that for getting the job. In which Brian Flores responded, "Are you sure you have the right Brian? Because I don't I didn't even interview for the job yet. So basically, Belichick responded, sorry, double checked and misread the text. And there's a lot of speculation behind that text message or not, depending on how you look at it. The NFL is basically denying Flores' claims, said it would fight the suit. And just another statement from the NFL. They said that the NFL and our clubs are deeply committed to ensuring equitable employment practices and continue to make progress, providing equitable opportunity throughout our organization. So diversity is core to everything we do, and there are a few issues on clubs and internal leadership teams spend more time defend against these claims are without merit. So the Dolphins, because there were some allegations against the Dolphins, get into those, but their senior vice president, spokesman, Jason Jenkins, also issued a statement denying any of the claims and just saying that these are nothing but allegations, and they are proud of the diversity that they have throughout their organization. So I'll open up the floor to M. What are your thoughts on this latest development in the league?
Well, first and foremost, it just kind of took all of us by surprise. I think it's been breaking news. As soon as the news broke, it just kind of took over the airwaves in the sports industry. And now here we are again faced with a situation or a problem that has been going on or seems to have been going on for a very long time. And I understand all the statements that are coming out now from several organizations about the diversity that they have within their organization. But we are specifically talking about head coaching. When and when will the practice change where we can have some African American coaches, head coaches at the helm in the NFL? And I think it's been discussed. I mean, we know the Rooney Rule has been around for since 2003, I believe, and it's been said over and over that it's just a formula, a practice that that they go through basically when they already know who they're going to hire for the job. But because the NFL told us that we have to make sure we interview several African American coaches or potential assistants that could, but when are we going to see this practice change? And I know Mike Tomlin has been in position there as the head coach for about 13, 14, maybe 15 years or so as a head coach there in Pittsburgh, came up with the Rooney Rule. And it's, but I want to see if we're going to move forward with this practice because there are so many eligible coaches out here that have the knowledge, that has the experience, and you see big name college coaches come in and get head coaching jobs over all these guys who have been 20-year assistants, 25-year assistants. They have been, they have so much experience, but they seem to be looked over. And I think it's something that needs to be addressed. I think it's something that Brian Flores wanted to show, even putting his career on the line, because this will probably be a situation where he'll never get a chance to coach in the NFL again. But as I was listening to some of his statements, he said it's bigger than me. And he said, I know what's at stake, and I want to put this out there because some of these practices need to change so that we can move forward as a United States of America, as a football league, as human beings. I think that, and I'm hoping that this can open up some other avenues for people of color, minorities getting the opportunities and I know we've come a long way, and I know we're still trying, but I think there needs to be a push now that we can see some more African Americans, especially in the NFL, as head coaches. So that's my take. I wish Brian Flores, the best of luck. And I'm hearing about the other allegations you were stating, Terry, about the owner asking him to lose games, um, offering to pay him over $100,000. I hope that's not the case because I love this NFL. I respect this NFL, and it's one of the greatest sports in the history of sports. And I hope this is not true because that will throw a black eye in the game of the National Football League. So I hope Mr. Goodell and them are looking at all of these um, allegations, and I hope it will be addressed soon so that we can have some clarity as to what's really going on here. I hope we hear from the commissioner soon. And I wish Mr. Flores the best of luck. And my hat goes off to him because he's putting his whole career on the line right here, coming out with this class action.
Right?
Well, first I'm gonna give a shout out to NFL named NFL Sucks. What it says. Haven't fact checked this, so I don't know if it's accurate or not. So that's something we may have to look into. But he's saying, since he can remember, he has there's been 129 head coaching and 28 of them have been minorities. So I'm not sure if that's facts or not. So that's something we have to look at.
Wow.
But
Wow.
if that is, yeah. So with me, I'm gonna say it's big news. This has been going on a long time, and the light has been shined on it again because this has been brought up before. And as Emerson said, this they brought in the Rooney Rule to give minorities the platform to succeed, to try to get these jobs and bring these teams in so they can see what they can bring to a team or organization. And then I remember it was just a couple of years ago that they was thinking about having the Rooney Rule and giving teams an incentive, a draft incentive, a pick. And anybody who knows football, a pick is a lie. So you're telling a team that, hey, if you hire a minority, we'll give you a pick.
Right. Yeah.
Is it your what was I was mad at that whole concept. And I had a conversation with somebody before at work who didn't know about the Rooney Rule. I had to explain it to him why. And then I was explaining why this had upset me. It was like we as a minority, it's like you'll take us or they'll give us to us, but you had to give us a piece of candy or something with
Under a certain condition.
Yeah, it's
Actually,
like we
yes.
couldn't just get it off our merits, off our work ethics. It was like a slap in the face. So I didn't like that when they had mentioned that. But this whole thing is been out. It's just been kind of under the table, and it's put out in the light right now. So you're gonna see what happens with this. As into the other story related with all this, if an owner is telling the coach to
Wow.
tank games, what is going to be the penalty for that? Because this is not a player, this is an owner. In relations to just going into another sport like baseball with Pete Rose, this is not a player, this is an owner. What is the penalty for that? How does the NFL go about this? Roger Goodell works for the NFL or the owners.
Yes.
So is he hamstrung? What can he do? So basically, whatever his punishment is basically through the owners. So that will kind of tell me everything that you need to know when it all comes out to play, if it's true, if it's not true. Because his punishment should be very severe if that's the case. So
Yes.
allegedly,
Maybe
we will
never-
see what happens.
Maybe not allowed to own an NFL team. I mean, maybe we could start there.
Yeah.
If this is
Yeah.
true. If this is true.
I mean, this is, to me, this is a bad time for this and I don't want this. I don't want to be taken out of context here, but I'm just speaking in terms for the NFL as a league. This is a bad time for something like this to come out. I'm glad that it's come out, but I mean, you're talking about a year where you could say like this might be one of the best seasons the NFL has had, just in terms
Yes.
of games
Yes.
and competitiveness, games coming down to the wire. I mean, just look at the playoff games we had. I give a lot of credit to Flores for coming out. Like you said, Emerson, this, in my opinion, I don't feel that he will get another NFL coaching opportunity. But, you know, like he said, he felt he had to do this not only for himself, but for other coaches or aspiring black coaches or minority coaches in the league. It's just kind of, I don't want to believe it. I really hope that these allegations are untrue, but I just don't see why he would choose this time, take a very huge risk, and not have enough evidence to prove the things that he's saying. I'd also like to give credit to Hees and Mike Tomlin. Not sure how true this is, but I did hear a story that the Roonies were not intending on hiring Tomlin, but after interviewing him, and he did so well, they decided to hire him. And right now he's the only black coach in the league. I believe, what is it, 15 winning seasons with the Steelers. So, and when you get into the allegations about paying to lose games, it just kind of made my mind kind of go off and wonder and go on a tangent. Like, what about those? And now this is an owner pressuring the head coach to lose games. Now, let's just say I'm a kicker. Like, I don't want to say kickers in the NFL come a dime a dozen, but what if you have an owner saying, hey, this 20, 30-yard chip shot that you normally good for 95, 100% of the time.
Right.
Might want to miss this chip shot. And I, again, this is way out there, but in a conspiracy theory, maybe, but it just makes you think. Like, and then now we're talking about a kicker. Like, I'm not saying they come a dime a dozen, but what's this kicker gonna do? Is he gonna say, no, I'm gonna hit this chip shot and I get a paycheck the following week? So, that's just, when you hear stuff like that, that's where your mind or people's minds can go and make you wonder.
Sure.
I would like to. Oh, go ahead.
No, I think Hugh Jackson also made a comment this week that I think he's been approached with that same proposal. Like, hey, we need to lose these games, and we understand how important draft capital is, getting securing the number one pick or the top 5 player in the NFL to put your team in a better position to win for years to come. But I thought, did I hear my boy Herm Edwards say, play to win the game? That's what Herm Edwards said. By any means. I don't care if your team has only won one game for the season. You play it like it's the best you can do. You put your best foot forward on every play. There's no quit. We're not trying to position ourselves for next year's draft. You play every play like it's your last, because you're being evaluated as players and you're being evaluated as coaches. So I just want to see a competitive game, no matter what your record is.
And
so I hope this is man.
Oh.
I don't even want to think about it.
Yeah, I just hope this works out for the best. I would like to see more opportunity for black head football minorities as well
Mhm.
in the
Yeah.
league.
Yep.
And I'm just wondering if you hear a lot about the Bill
Belichick?
Belichick coaching tree, the Parcells coaching tree,
Sure.
Tom Landry, you got Tom Landry, Dan Reeves.
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe Brian, you could tell me. Tomlin's coaching staff. No, I'm not sure who's on his staff. Coordinators, he black or a minority, but it just made me think. Tomlin, and I hate to put this on him. Maybe he's the one that, just due to his success, and coaching genius, he may have to be the one that starts his own tree, a Tomlin tree. And that's how, or one of the ways we get more minorities and black head coaches. Just
And
having
though?
that umbrella of coaches.
On that, see, I don't think Tomlin has the say all for picking coordinators on his team.
Gotcha.
He has had some players that became like linebacker coaches. I think Porter was one. But to go on that subject, let's go to the Oakland job. Was it Josh McDaniels? Is that his name?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
He gets the job at Oakland, or no, I'm sorry, not Oakland, LA Raiders.
LA.
And he says, "Oh, I want this person to be my general manager." So think of that. He's not just satisfied getting the job, but I want this job and I want this person with me.
Yeah.
Opportunities.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying, and that's all we've been saying. We just want fair opportunity. And like I said, Josh McDaniels, you get opportunity, and I want some more.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see how this is going to play out.
Yeah.
This is going to be a long, lengthy process. I just want to say one more thing. I heard it on, I forget, I heard it on the radio this morning, but one station, I forget the station, brought it up. At one point, the Dolphins were playing really good football under Ryan Fitzpatrick. And once they brought it up, I remember it. For whatever reason, Ryan Fitzpatrick got pulled for Tua.
He got pulled. I remember that.
And I remember a lot. I remember some of the headlines were that a lot of the Miami players in that locker room were upset. And so, I mean, you have your suspicions and there's these allegations, but you go back to that moment and it kind of makes you wonder, like, what was going on there?
Forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yes, that did happen, Terry, and I remember that. I remember that whole turn of events there. So it's it's going to be a long road.
Yeah.
And I think it's a long road that it's worth the effort that needs to be put into it. See that we can come to some type of everything that has taken place over the last few days here with Mr. Brian Flores and going forward for other coaches. Like I think he said it is bigger than me. And once again, my hats off to him, because he put his career in jeopardy here.
Yeah, he definitely stepped out there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely.
So it's going to be an interesting time.
Yeah.
Yep.
NFL, Mr. Goodell, step it
Where
up.
is he? I haven't even seen him.
don't
Has
know.
anybody seen him?
I haven't seen him.
I haven't seen him. You might see him 2 weeks from now on the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I expect to hear some things from him leading up to the Super Bowl. Some FaceTime.
Yes.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
But
Yeah.
moving
Josh
right along,
McDaniels.
Roger Clemmons and Barry Bonds, a no-go, get inducted into the Hall of Fame. Right or wrong, to keep Clemmons and Bonds out of the Hall of Fame? Think about that, Brian. Bonds guy.
Hell no, they wrong. Oh, MLB should be ashamed of themselves, man. Because when all this was going on, first of all, they had no steroid policy. They had nothing like that. I'm not gonna speak for Clemmons because I'm a Bonds guy, so I'm just gonna stick with Bonds because that's what I know. Bonds was an all-star when he was in Pittsburgh. He was a star when he came to San Fran. He was a 30-30 guy. 30 homers, 30 stolen bases. Every year, you can just cash it in. You can do everything. Gold gloves. So you want to sit there and say the MLB, they want to say when the getting was good, you had your Sosas, you had your McGuires, everybody was tuning in, everybody was watching. Bonds comes in, everybody's tuning in, everybody's watching, and then when it's all said and done, their careers are over. None of those guys got suspended for anything, right? Am I correct?
I don't think so.
No, none of them. So now reporters who get those votes, which I don't like certain people, but do like certain people, they're going to say, no, he's not going to get in the Hall of Fame. Why? They say, oh, it's because of what he may have did off the field or what he may have did. And there's no penalties because there was no policy. So you want to keep him out. That's, to me, that's I don't agree with that. And I don't like it. I think Bonds is a sure shot, was a Hall of Famer before that. So the way I look at it, they're wrong. The MLB is wrong for handling it the way they handle it. You put them in, you want to put them in with an asterisk, do that. But don't do what they did. I don't think it's right.
Well. This is a good topic here. Mr. Bonds. Barry Bond. Well, great player. We can take nothing from him. His greatness on the field. Probably one of the best hitters in the game. I mean, we know he's going to go down in that. You got to put that legacy there. And, some people want to put an asterisk there behind his name for the home runs, everything that he was able to, have success with on the field. Success comes with some scrutiny. Everyone knows, whether it's any sport, there's always some scrutiny. Well, he probably did this. They always, think somebody's doing something extra, something behind the scenes. We've seen this on many occasions with successful athletes. Bonds put up some great numbers, and I think when you have that type of success, everyone wants to tune in and look into, okay, could he be doing something? And now you have like you said, the writers and that may not like him because he didn't give them the interview they wanted, or whatever the case may be. There's some people out here that that love what Bonds has done on the baseball diamond, and there's some people out here say, I don't like his attitude, or I don't like the way he handles his interviews after games, or he refused to give me whatever the case may be. I think, what was this, his third time, fourth time, fifth time, maybe trying to get in? I think this is his last time trying to get into the Hall. So I think we're going to see how this plays out. I think there's one more chance, a long shot, he can get in. I was listening to a talk show. They was talking about there's one more chance he possibly could still get in. So we're going to have to wait and see how that all unfolds. But like Brian said, the numbers that he put up in Pittsburgh before the whole steroid, thing came on the scene. Those were some great numbers. When him and Bobby Bonilla, Bobby Boo Boo, they were a tandem reckon with every night they stepped on the diamond. That was a 1-2 punch that had teams scared to face. So he goes to San Francisco, and now all of this comes about. He breaks records and has all this wonderful success. So we gonna have to see how this all unfolds as far as his legacy is concerned. And there'll be, I think, people on both sides of the fence here. Yes, I want to give him his props, and there'll be somebody, no, but he cheated. He did something wrong. There's no way he could have completed that without juicing or taking steroids or whatever the case may be. For Mr. Clemmons, one of the greatest pitchers of all times, you were scared to face Roger Clemens. You were scared to face him. His pitch count and the velocity that he threw that baseball with, it was incredible. It was incredible. And I think he wanted. I don't think Roger Clemens was at the forefront with all the steroid allegations at first, but I think he spoke up and wanted to pretty much. If you're suspecting that I may have taken, so Congress said, "Oh, okay, yeah, you come to the table too. We want to talk to you too. Since you open your mouth, we want to talk to you too. We were kind of leaving you alone, but come on." So now here we are, and Clemmons and Bonds didn't make it into the Hall of Fame, and we're going to see what happens from here. I think it's going to be a long shot for both of them, but there are people that's going to always love them. There are people that's going to always put a question mark.
Yeah,
I agree. I really think, like Emerson, I think Clemens would have gotten in had he not made those comments. That just kind of opened him up to all kinds of scrutiny. Back at that series game, that's up the bat, Gaza.
Yeah.
Those are just the things that I don't want to say they were forgotten, but underneath the rug that kind of got pulled back up again. With Bonds, I honestly think it was a writer's thing. He wasn't media friendly, and I won't say that he wasn't that way all the time, but he just whatever he had trust issues with media did, and this just going off the media's opinion, they felt like he treated them unfairly. Guy was a great player. Talking about his Pittsburgh aces of like Brian. Got to San Francisco, basically stepped up his game even more. And my question would be, does steroids help you hit fastball on the side corner? Talking about fastball for best pitchers. On top of that, let's talk about how many fastballs that inside part of the plate, because he really didn't get a lot of pitches to hit. When he did get them, he hit them. But those, questions, I'm not a medical expert at, but I just really feel like more of a writer's thing, in my opinion. And my only question I have to baseball is, have a team that won the World Series where it's pretty much been proven that they were stealing signs. Nothing happened. They're still considered champion.
Yep.
That's pretty much all I have to say on that. Both great athletes. Both were game of baseball. Sad to see them not get in.
It was good to see Big Poppy get in, though.
Yeah.
Big ups to Big Poppy.
Yeah, well,
I like
we'll
that.
save that.
Big Poppy.
I ain't gonna say nothing, but we'll save that.
I like Big Poppy.
Yeah,
I'll
one
bring
last
that
thing.
up on another
I'm going to say a
discussion.
history note for you guys.
All
The
right.
last time a player was intentionally walked, bases loaded, 1-run game. No, I'm sorry, it's a 2-run game. Bases loaded. Bonds up to the plate. Intentionally walked.
Wow.
They didn't want to pitch to him with bases loaded.
With
And the
bases loaded.
And the
They'd
2-run.
rather give up that. They give up that run
They give up that run than the pitch to him. That was the last
rather than
time.
pitch to him.
That's
Who
how-
was that? What team was that?
I can't remember. I wrote it
Dodgers?
down. It's on one of my notes somewhere.
That means you respect that hitter.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
that meant.
You know, I respect
Yeah.
this hitter.
Wow. But getting into the NBA, just want to touch on a couple topics and get thoughts real quick on a couple things as the NBA trade deadline's a week away. I believe the deadline, the actual day is next Thursday, February
Next
10th.
Thursday. 10th.
So just a few questions that are kind of looming ahead of the deadline. Do you think the Pacers are going to trade away DeMontis or maybe even Karis LeVert and go through the process of rebuilding? I know their name has kind of been out there, but Emerson, what are your thoughts? You think they pull the trigger on a couple deals?
Karis LeVert is a hot topic right now. I've been hearing his name swing through the rumor mill all week that he could possibly be moved. I think teams like him, I think teams that are trying to solidify themselves and put themselves in position for that long playoff run and go deep into the playoffs would love to have a player of his caliber on the team. And I think he could definitely help a team. We know he's a phenomenal player, a player that has proven himself in this league. And I think you add him to any of these potential championship caliber teams that may be looking for that other scorer, that other instant offense, a player that can come in and give you some buckets. I think he is that guy. What you would have to give up to get him, I think that's something you'll have to, go over with your general manager and find out where he best fits, what we're giving up, and what we're going to receive.
Right. Brian. So right now, Joel Embiid playing the best basketball career. I think the Sixers finally pull the trigger and make a trade for Ben Simmons to get us some help and maybe help the Sixers make a push for the Eastern Conference Championship.
Do I think they will? No. Do I think they should? Yes. Embiid is, like you said, playing the best basketball seen.
Eastern.
But my fear is, will he have enough left in the tank? Playing the way he is without having that co-star. You need that second co-star. And we know, like we said, we know what he's gonna bring every night. But second half of the season, I'm curious to see if he's gonna be able to keep it up and maintain it. But do I think they'll make a move? No, because they're stubborn. Should they? Yes.
But everybody wants Tobias Harris in a trade. If whatever you do in that package that talking about Ben Simmons, they also want Tobias Harris too.
Yeah.
They want him, and
Yeah.
he's like a key ingredient on that team. I don't know if Philly wants to let him go because he's a major part of what they.
Yeah. Can't get rid of him.
What about the Celtics, Em? Do you think they split up Tatum and Jaylen Brown? Or
The rumor mill right now has that they're open to talk. Let's talk. Yeah, I believe if the right trade comes their way, and we could be talking about some very big name players. If the right player, and you mentioned Brian Ben Simmons, and if the right player comes their way, I think they will pull the trigger. We'll see what happens right there. Do they want to run it? I know they was talking about dumping some players, just outright cutting a couple players. I know Kimber Walker name has been mentioned as just, they might just, hey, buddy, well, thank you for your service. But we'll see what happens. I think it's going to be very interesting. And something, some guys, there's always something interesting that catches us off guard at the trade deadline that we never seen that coming. We be like, who just got traded? It happens all the time. It happens all the time. So I'm looking for something at the trade deadline to happen, and it's going to kind of like just throw a whole monkey wrench in everything. We're like, oh wow, where did that come from? Did you know who expected that? So
let me ask you guys a quick question. Boston, if you had to get rid of one of them, which one you getting rid of? Tatum or Brown?
Ooh,
I'm gonna go Brown, just based off of Brown's a great player, defense, offense, but Tatum has a lot of upside to him. I don't think we've seen his full potential. Not to say that we've seen Brown's full potential, but I think Tatum's upside is a lot higher.
UE?
I agree with Terry right there. I love Brown as a player. His versatility is just amazing. He can defend wings. He can go down in the box. He shoots well from the 3-point range. He has so many different facets to his game. But Tatum has that upside, and he's going to be a real star in this league. We're just seeing him just touch the tip of the iceberg. I would probably go with Brown.
All right. Real quick, Brian. 30 seconds. What do you think the Knicks are going to do heading into the deadline?
Nothing.
Nothing, stand pat?
Yeah, I think they're gonna stand pat.
I think so. I don't make any move.
Goodbye,
There's
Randall.
some Randall talk. I don't think it's
Goodbye.
I don't think it's gonna
Randall.
happen.
And finally,
Yep.
I minute if you need it. I don't think you do. But the Lakers make a move. Better yet, can they make any move?
The only move we're gonna make is getting LeBron back, and we're gonna go on a run. That's the move we're gonna make. The Lakers stand pat, and we're gonna make that run.
You got nothing to
Case
trade.
closed.
All right.
Case closed.
You
All right.
got
Heard it
nothing.
here.
They're gonna trade
XO
Julius
Sports.
Randle. They're gonna trade Julius Randle to the Globetrotters.
All right,
Oh,
we had a
man.
great show tonight.
Thank
Yep.
you,
Thank
everybody.
everybody for tuning in. Emerson, take us out, man.
Well. Once again, another great show here at XO Sports. We want to thank everyone for tuning in. We hope to see you next week. We got some more great hot news coming at you. It's going to be Super Bowl weekend. We got some big surprises for you. Make sure you tune in next week because XO Sports, we have a big surprise for you coming next week. And guess what? We're going to have the whole band back again. We'll find those guys and negotiate new contracts with them. We'll get Aaron and Malcolm back here, man. And hopefully we can get them back to the table and let them know they got to stay on tour with us. They can't just keep taking these days off,
Exactly.
doing solo careers. Everybody that's part of the band want to go do solo, man. Everybody, it always happens, It always happens,
It's
But
XO
folks,
Sports.
we'll see you next week. Thank you for tuning in to XO Sports. Boom. Come back next week. We got something that you want to see.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Peace.
everybody.
Thanks,
Night.
everybody. Yeah, there's no
Good night.
6 days of XO Sports. There's no sick days.
Yeah, you can't take off.
Right?
What's wrong with you? What's
You
wrong
don't
with
pay